It's weighty when you're out here and you see people dying.
Yo no voy a llamar a la policía, sino...
I know that the comment section is going to blow this up into a political debate.
No los dejo de extrañar.
I'm going to be frank, this is a pretty heavy episode. In this episode, you're going to meet Juan. I met him 12 hours after his friend died, not very far from my land, of dehydration. You're going to meet Pedro Alfonso, who popped out of the bushes 10 yards away from me. And you're going to see two guys dancing on my game camera and how I saved them from 600 miles away. I'm going to save any thoughts and opinions I have on this issue for the end of the episode. For now, I just want to tell the story. And I think the story speaks for itself. It's weighty when you're out here and you see people dying. If you remember back in episode 5, I had a meeting in Sierra Blanca to meet a contractor named Ruben, who actually no-showed me. And that left me with a weird dilemma. Should I leave my stuff back at camp? Or should I come back to camp 2 hours down the dirt road and then 2 hours back to Sierra Blanca before heading home? I knew I should have packed up all my stuff in the truck just in case. I know it doesn't make sense to drive out there. I just need to go home, but jeez, this sucks. From Sierra Blanca, I decided to just head home. I'm in the middle of the desert. Who's going to touch my campsite? I also had set up a game camera on that trip and I got the first image. And I was really excited, but it wasn't the kind of game that I was expecting to see. It was 4 men in camouflage carrying heavy backpacks. That doesn't automatically mean drug trafficking. I've talked to a deputy out here who said it's probably a 50-50 shot. And I've always carried a weapon out here, but that just reaffirmed the mentality. On the next trip, I was coming back and I had that in the forefront of my mind that somebody's seen my stuff and is it going to be there? 6 weeks ago, I left the property unexpectedly and I left all of my things. I left my camping equipment, I left my water supplies, I left my medication, and I left my iPad. And I have no idea whether it's still going to be there or not. Right now, I'm about to drop into the canyon, make a couple of turns, and then I'm going to see what's there. I was coming around the bend that marks my property line, and I saw this kid just walking down the road. Man, let me talk to him. Hola, ¿cómo está? Again, 2 hours down a dirt road, haven't seen any sign of life, and all of a sudden you see a kid in a hoodie with no supplies walking down the road. It's shocking. Su primo se murió y...
No, no es mi primo.
Oh.
Somos grupo nada más. No, estoy triste con aquellos.
¿Y usted tiene comida?
Sí tengo.
Okay. ¿Y tiene agua?
Sí tengo, pero allá encontré agua.
Sí, en mi tierra.
Sí.
Es mi propiedad, pero estoy muy feliz que
Sí.
descubraste mi agua.
Sí, aquí.
Porque lo necesito.
Puso un mapa.
Sí, sí. Un mapa pequeño y mi teléfono. 5 miles norte del río. Y es la montaña que se llama Chopi, que es allá. Y la ciudad Van Horn es como 25 millas. ¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Mi nombre.
Sí.
Juan.
Juan? Shaun. Soy Shaun. Soy Shaun. Mucho gusto. Conozco que es una decisión fea. No es justo. Pero no quiero cometer un crimen. Eso es hacer.
Mira.
¿Sí?
Mira.
¿Vamos? Ok. ¿Quieres caminar con nosotros? Y cuando regresamos, voy a tomar espacio adentro y puedes andar con nosotros. ¿Está bien?
Sí.
Ok. Que Dios te bendiga. I had Juan get in my truck and he was scared out of his mind. He was absolutely terrified. So I wasn't too worried about him attacking me because I could tell he was way more afraid of me than I was of him. But when you're dealing with somebody that is desperate and that may not be making the most rational choices, putting them in my vehicle where they have the opportunity to fight and potentially drive away with it could put myself in a dangerous situation. So I would handle that part differently going forward. All right, so I mean, obviously there are bigger things going on. I need to help this gentleman get to safety. He was lucky enough that he came across my camp and helped himself to the water. I told him I'm glad he did, that his life is valuable and important. The much less important thing compared to how I felt 5 minutes ago is that my stuff is still almost entirely here. The water's there, the stove looks like it's there, my backpack, I haven't opened it to see if my iPad's there, the cot is there, so it looks like everything is all good and almost entirely untouched. But now I got a bigger priority. I'm basically going to just empty the truck, get all that stuff ready to go, and then I'm going to take this gentleman to safety. About 30 minutes after I found Juan, another random event, Border Patrol agent just drove by. I gave him the situation about his food and water and told the agent that there's likely a dead migrant in the desert. This is fun.
They just picked them up right now.
20 minutes ago?
9 minutes. ¿Es identificación?
No.
Sorry. I'm gonna go get the other guy.
Okay. For the migrants that are crossing the desert and find themselves in distress, there's an emergency button that they can push, and it notifies the nearby Border Patrol agents. I don't know the exact outcome. It's probably Juan's friends that went and hit that beacon. Juan, que Dios te bendiga. Hasta luego. Buen suerte. And then Juan parted ways. I wished him and told him God bless and good luck. And I'll be praying for him. You know, I feel really guilty right now. Just can't imagine what he just endured. I really hope he's going to be. I know he's going to be okay now. But I'm pretty upset. And me having this experience of meeting Juan within a day of his buddy dying of dehydration in the desert, that story's never been told. Nobody knows about that. The guy died. I don't even know if his family knows, and there's no body, and he's just gone. I just got done flying my drone, taking shots of my property. I noticed 4 hawks circling, and I have this horrible suspicion that that's probably where the body is. So I'm going to send up the drone to go take a look and call in the Border Patrol so they know where to look for the deceased. I flew in the direction of where I saw the 4 turkey vultures circling. I didn't find any evidence of the body, so I decided to go back to Sierra Blanca where I'd have a cell phone connection and I could contact the Border Patrol. And Pacheco had texted me in response. I let him know that I saw the hawks circling and that it's about 3,000 feet from my property. In that area, I've never seen hawks circling. I think it's a dead body. Juan and his friends were walking in the canyon where his compatriot succumbed. I intend to go over there and at least see if we can find the corpse so that he can get a respectful burial. For better or worse, we didn't find any remains in the canyon, but the story of migrants crossing my lands didn't end there. Yeah, I still think about the search for his friend's body with the drone. It's the one and only time in the year I've been out here that I've even seen more than one turkey vulture at a time. So I'm pretty sure something bad happened over there. I think it's off my property line, but not super far. And it's, it's a reminder of what it's like out here. That same trip, 2 days later, my buddy Brandon and I are at the foot of Oxford Canyon Road dealing with a mechanical issue on some equipment. This guy just pops out of the bushes. His name's Pedro Alfonso, and he scared the life out of me. Por la noche hay una señal semáforo que es azul y negro, azul y rojo, y puede tocar la divisa o la algo, la cosa, y la migra va a llegar a usted si necesita. When you're just working on equipment, minding your own business, you're in the desert by yourself, and then all of a sudden somebody pops out 10 feet from you or 10 yards from you, you know that like if they wanted to do something bad to me, I had no idea they were there.
Oh, el calle, la autopista 90.
Sí.
Mucho. Es el otro lado de estas montañas.
Ah.
Es muy lejos.
He was just as unprepared as Juan. I just couldn't wrap my mind around it, at least not at the time, that he was a quarter mile from the Rio Grande. He had been out here for days. He has a liter of water, and he's walking to Highway 90, which is 25 miles that way. I wished him the best of luck. I gave him water and some food. Never expected to see him again. Then today, the Border Patrol agent started driving by. I flagged him down just to ask some safety questions, and it turned out Pedro Alfonso was in the back seat. So it was a huge relief to see that he was safe. And what really made me feel good was when I first met him, I told him, if you get in danger, there's a rescue beacon way up high on the mountain flashing blue and red. If you're in danger, go push that button and the Border Patrol will come get you. And that's exactly what happened. He walked up there, pushed the button, and as he was in the back seat, he told me, God bless you, which is how I parted ways with him. And I told him, you too, I wish you the best of luck, but you're safe now. Pedro Alfonso crossed at the foot of Oxford Canyon Road. My friend Bill owns the ranch down there, and there is a footbridge that crosses the river. It's not hard to figure out how to cross the Rio Grande. You can see the track there, and the cows are standing where the humans pop out, and then you just walk up right here through a little bit of a thicket, and voila, America. It's been there for 60 years. And back in the day, you'd have 50 plus people come over from Mexico to work for the day on the local ranches and then head back over, which is also an indication of just how much this area has changed, that the land is so degraded that there's nobody out here working. Like, it's gone, which is a great reason for me to do a greening project and to get agriculture going back out here again. But it is dangerous out here. And when I talked to a public information officer with the Border Patrol, I think it's more helpful to hear it from them and not just take my word for it.
So it's a little bit wild west out here, though it's notoriously violent. So one of the things they've been doing down there in Corchado is they've got a lot of missing migrants because the rival cartels are killing off each other's migrants that they attempt to smuggle them through the disputed territory.
Oh my God.
They'll take a truckload of them and intercept them, and they'll say they're quote-unquote liberating, and they'll dive them out to remote piece of the desert and kill them all and bury them in the desert. How the cartels exploit and endanger them by, leaving them out there to die in the desert. During the winter storm, actually, the year before last, I just gotten here, but in your area, they marched them across the border in the blizzard, and we ended up doing more than 200 rescues in the blizzard. The calluses, they don't care about the welfare of these migrants whatsoever. They don't really care whether they live or die. All they care about is the money they can exploit from them in the smuggling process.
It reminds me on the time when I tried to come over the Indio Mountains to get here, driving through the canyon with my buddy Ken. And this lady from Guatemala, she was just walking down a desert canyon, and she'd been out here for 5 days. I didn't get that whole encounter on film, although Ken took a little bit of footage in his vehicle behind me. She was actually in decent shape. She had enough water. She had enough food. She was ready to give up too and was looking for Border Patrol. So I actually sent her on her way because she was just a mile from the research station, and it was pretty obvious, just follow the path to get there. And then you have this joker. Buenos días.
¿Dónde me lleva el camino que va para acá?
¿Dónde va?
Es que me quedé perdido.
¿Necesita la migra?
No sé, ese otro...
Porque estos carros son la migración y pueden rescatarte, pero si depende que quieres. Si quieres rescate, es mejor si caminas en esta dirección por la camina y va directamente al pueblo que se llama Sierra Blanca. This guy's asking me for money.
¿No tiene qué?
¿Dólar o...?
No,
Sí,
no,
no tengo. Ajá.
no. Honestamente no necesita. Okay.
Gracias.
Buen suerte.
We're in the middle of the desert. What are you going to do? Are you going to go on a shopping spree when you get to Prada Marfa? Like, there's nowhere to spend money. It's absolutely useless. I don't know if sometimes people just see a gringo and they're like, oh, money. As I'm here, I experience some of these ridiculous situations where, like, this lady wants me to basically be her Uber because she's tired, or this guy's asking me for money in the middle of the desert. Life's getting ridiculous. And then I have this very strange image come in on my game camera. And so that was just a surreal experience that I'm in my office, I'm working on a crew via my business, and then, you know, this image pops up on my game camera. The way that they were looking into the camera was so intentional. I had this strong suspicion that they were asking for help, but I was looking at a still image. My game camera does support video, but it takes at least 12 hours for the video to send, sometimes 24 hours. So it's not, it's not intended to be live updates. Do you really need to know that a deer's at your feet or right this second? I had to make a judgment call. Do I want to call Border Patrol on these guys because I think they're being rescued, or am I narking? And I decided that it looks clear enough to me that I need to call and honor these guys' request for help. And when I saw the videos, that definitely confirmed it.
Padre, sí es cámara, mira loco. Ayuda. No los dejo de extrañar.
It's this tug and pull of watching desperate poverty and people making really extreme choices because there's not a good option. And then the comedy of basically people asking me to be their Uber or asking me for money. Or just seeing people like walk on that ridge with a flashlight in the middle of the night. In a way, I put myself here because I knew this issue existed and I bought the property knowing that, but I didn't sign up to watch people die. I didn't really appreciate, as a Texan, how bad it is, because I'm in the Fort Worth area, and sure, we see illegal immigrants, but they're working. They've already made the journey, they're safe, they're finding jobs as day laborers, and they're moving on to that next phase that made the whole journey worth the risk. But I'm watching the journey as it happens. And so me as a suburbanite, I see the news stories of 50 migrants dying in the back of a semi in San Antonio last year, and I have no power or authority to make a difference. So what I choose to do is to make the difference that I can. I think a lot of people have this motivation that you need to go to the levers of authority and start demanding that people make changes, when I very much believe in bottom-up solutions. That, you know, if I buy this land and I start building my desert forest, I don't need anybody's permission. I don't have to go coordinate, and I don't have to use government bullies to make it happen. I just go get busy. And with immigration, I don't have any influence whatsoever over border policy, and I'm not going to advocate for more immigration or less immigration. But what I do hope comes out of this video is that somebody watching has more awareness of just how bad it is. We don't know how many of them are dying, but if me, pretty much out here in the desert, you know, I have a friend with me, but more or less by myself, am encountering people that are dying. How many others are out here? How many people die making a journey that could be done on a bus? Or, you know, I don't have a solution. I really don't. So for me, with immigration, it's very much like this project where I just got started and I'm doing it. With immigration, I don't want to encourage people to cross and risk their lives. It's a really, really bad idea. It's very dangerous. But if I encounter somebody and they need help, I very much believe in the verse, whatever you do for the least of these, you do for me. and that if somebody needs my help and they need food or water, it's just the basic part of being a human. I can't imagine not helping them. I know that the comment section is going to blow this up into a political debate. I hope this story is more about human compassion and finding a way to serve your brothers in humanity even when you didn't choose to be in that situation, and it's not something that you feel like you have any power or influence over. You find the opportunities to serve where you can, and you leave it up to the powers that be to do their job, even though they probably won't. Thank you for watching. He noticed he was leaking hydraulic fluid real bad, and now, the moment of truth.